Skywrath support will be able to zone the Jakiro away mid farm. So I really don't know how you deal with this. Like, I love the gimmicky strats and I love the Tusk in general. Like, I think, hey, you don't have to worry about Zeus' survivability maybe because of the OP snowball. But when you're running him as a support and you're up against Medusa, like, you have to think about if you're actually ever going to be able to kill this hero. It's just insane. And Dendy's going to be playing the Brewmaster, which in of itself is very scary.
Yeah, I think late game, Hero's not dying, but I mean, you do have a Tusk. Any early rotations when the levels in the Mana Shield we saw yesterday, Admiral Bulldog was actually playing for Alliance, which was pretty fun to see. And he did take that one roll because Loda was stuck in an airport, and he was going one. I think he ended up going 1-3-1, maybe even 1-4-1, taking a point in the ult or even stats. And that Mana Shield, if you have that burst damage of Tusk coming out in the early game, you might be able to kill Medusa a few times, but even then, it's just a minor setback. And looking at the last game, like, look how much anti-mage was set back, and he was still able to find that farm. Medusa can do something similar. Yeah,
that last example, though, you were given of the Bulldog, Medusa was a little bit different. That he went 3-0-3 in 10 minutes. Like, they fed him pretty hard.
That's true, yeah. And then he still went for, like, the most passive Medusa item build ever.
Yeah. But we won't go back into it. We're going to look at the positioning of Funnick here on the bottom lane. That's pretty slick. Placing down the observer ward so he knows if they're ever invading, and otherwise he's just hiding out in the trees. So he's just going to be in experience range most of the time, since we do see the body blocks coming in from Sneaky. He does have tools to push out the lane once he knows it's empty, but I don't know. Ice shards destroy trees, don't they?
Sorry, the what?
Destroy trees? Ice shards destroy trees?
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played Tusk that much. I want to say yeah.
I feel it does. Either way, you could use like the first.
It'd be way too easy to trap people like along tree lines and stuff.
They've got different clear vision tools too. The static remnant, the sigil. Both of those could see him perhaps, but they'll probably be looking on the eastern side. They're already pinging it out to go check those little spots that they've seen in the past, but no luck.
Yep. So some nice tricks here from the Punic. And let's see. It's Magoma down here, the support. They've been playing a lot of Vengeful Spirit today. It's actually the tri-lane with Storm in it. Safe lane Storm does not have the best win rate. I'm not sure what it is in this patch, but from that is past, I remember it not being all that great. But Safe lane Storm is something that actually Na'Vi have done as well, you know, with Dendy playing that down there sometimes when they're mixing up those lineups back in the day.
Yep, so Funnick does have to leave his hiding place as they end up just pushing out the lane with some remnants to cause him some grief and make sure that he doesn't get to level 2 easily, but at the end of the day, he's still going to get some experience because he is a puck, and with boots first at that. But mid lane, it is Dendy with 6 magic stick charges. He is eating a lot of arc lightning damage, but he should be able to sustain with this bottle that's forthcoming, and there's no mana left in the Zeus to surprise him with any burst damage. But Puck is actually rotating away from the lane. Funnick is going to go maybe for stacking some Ancients for the Medusa. That's a very real possibility. And then he could go, of course, for the Rune Control, which the Witch Doctor already seems to have covered.
Are there ways to do the Medusa Ancients with the new terrain changes on the Dire side? Not that they're doing that this game, but
I don't think it's worth it until you get 2 points in split shot, and that's not the build he's going for.
I think you can stand up here on the new terrain, go into the Roshan pit, and the Ancients will like keep attacking you. And look at that, Roshan with the big right jab. Looking like Balrog as he brings down the puck. No first blood for Zeroji. Oh my gosh, and he TP's back down. The heal is there at level 1. I don't know if Funnick's gonna have the burst damage. He is also level 1. He's only got 70 damage from the orb. That's not really what you're looking for. So he'll back off, but does trade out some more right clicks.
Yep, so we do have the offlane Jakiro here doing all right. Medusa's still going to be able to farm up here 11 last hits and is denying well enough that the Jakiro doesn't get everything he wants, but surprisingly still doing better than Funnick. Funnick's only level 1 here, so props to both Magoma as well as Zeroji. Especially the Zeroji being very active in zoning him out, but on top lane, as you caught it, it is going to be Goblak setting up the kill pretty easily here, as the Jakiro is just one of those heroes that can't help but die occasionally.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Don't have any built-in escapes, but just showing up in the offlane as, you know, when it becomes a 1v1 lane, like Jakiro is a strong laner. We've even seen him in the mid matchups back in the day against the Templar Assassin, mainly because Liquid Fire is really good, but Anyways, he'll find some farm this game. He'll look for the Tranquils into the Eul Scepter. Maybe he builds the Necro Book we talked about. But let's look at the mid lane again, where we've got 14 last hits on the Zeus, played by Mind Control. He's going to have to put up a really good performance. I mean, seeing what God was bringing out today, the Zeus bar has been set pretty high, and Dendi now started to take over this lane. 17 and 6. He's got a double damage, and he's back to full health, full mana.
Dire's bottom
I'd
tower
rather.
is under attack.
Actually, Phonic is like completely off the tower here. Like, there's this huge creep wave that actually came this direction, but he's gonna have to have ET rotate to actually help him out. Otherwise, Magoma would just ice shards him in, and he'd have to orb out once again. But yeah, I think I'm in the position where if I have the choice between being a level 4 Jakiro that fed First Blood or a level 1 Puck as an offlaner, I'd probably go with the Jakiro still. Although he did die, he's getting the experience he needs to be relevant this game. Puck is going to be so far behind. His damage is going to be irrelevant. It's all up to his disables to really make the most of things.
You can potentially catch up on the Ancients that he has been stacking. It's been stacked twice, so while he's level 1, he hasn't died any... Well, he has actually died, just kidding. But no, it neutrals. Roshan killed him, so... Yeah. Does have the one death. Didn't lose much for it, though. But stacking the Ancients is nice. Medusa can come down and clear that up. It won't take all that long, and with that, some added levels if it's just...
Oh, Magoma's dead. I mean, maybe he could go for some tricky ice shard stuff, but I don't think so. He'll
snowball one of the lesser brewlings and
wait 4 seconds.
Or not.
It's fine. Doesn't really matter either way. Whether he does it or not, it doesn't change the state of affairs there, and it might be better for him just to get back on the lane. Dendi, however, is going to be heading right back out to the mid lane. Zeus now kind of edging him out on CS, but irrelevantly so. He's still going to have a well-timed Blink Dagger after that kill.
Yeah, the kill's nice. 1,100 gold after the brown boots. Been seeing a lot of brown boots straight into the Blink Dagger today. Is up top Jakiro with a dual breath onto Go Black, playing on that Skywrath. Of course, Havost now less than 4 up on the Medusa. And what are his last hits at? Actually, 22 and 9. Storm Spirit is the guy who's really killing it right now, and Storm Spirit going to be played by Sneaky here for basically unknown. 37 and 6. Already has the Intreads, a Ring of Bass, Circlet to maybe complete up that Null Tally, but it looks like with the Ring of Regen, he's going straight into the Soul Ring, which could be that early Bloodstone again.
Some real possibility in that regard, but I'm not so... I mean, the Bloodstone is pretty important on the Storm Spirit, I believe, and they're actually going to have 2 Bloodstones if they go that route.
Oh,
that way too.
Man. This is a big stop to sleep here from Vanscore. It's quite the play, but they're not going to have the damage. Dendi doesn't even waste the time with another right-click. And then I thought he was just going to run back to the lane, but then just waste some time walking back and forth. He's there, though. Farming doesn't miss much. Bottom lane, I think we've got a proper push coming in. We've got, what is our tusk? 1 death here, level 3. Witch Doctor, level 4, has some heal. And Sneaky up here is level 5. Tower Blow, half HP. And Puck not there to get any of that experience. He is still back in base, level 4.
Yep, they got Basilius and Voodoo Restoration, so they're pretty happy about their ability to just push out the tower and probably take it here. The Orb, however, will be coming out. First the Puck was out of mana, but now Phonic comes back to the lane with a bottle and should be able to spam out his spells more. Kafka eats an Echo Stomp up top, and it should be his death as Dendi rotates in.
Yep, Go Black trying to keep that clear. Doesn't want to go down if he doesn't have to, and I don't think the Jakiro is going to have quite enough damage to do it anyways. 4 heroes up top right now. Might be trying to look to get the first tower, or even a tower trade if the push continues in the bottom lane, but if it does, Phonic now level 4. He's got the Silence, the Orb. Well, he uses it as a farm there, but a little bit more survivable as the extra levels get pumped in to the Puck. Witch Doctor looking to reward. Has some observers in the stash. Ice Shards looking for it.
Misses it. It's kind of like a Fisher now, where essentially you have to aim it in a very particular way, and if they're on the wrong side of it, then you done goofed.
It is, it still snaps at the max range, right? It won't ever not form. Pretty sure.
You can't, I mean, it forms where you click it, period.
Oh, but, okay, so, do you know, will you run to cast if you click further than it goes, or will it just go and then...
I believe you'll run to cast now.
Run to cast? Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Again, I mean, we brought it up already. I really like the change. The skill cap for the hero was skyrocketed with that, although the fails of the week potential also skyrocketed, so you do have to be careful over there on the snowball guy.
That's a nice way to put it. Another Ancient stack plus Rune Grab from Phonic. He's doing his due diligence even if he's not having the easiest time. Maybe he can contribute to a Zeus kill. Man, that would be some nice experience. The Zeus is almost a level 8, but Phonic would love to be a part of that. But hasting in, he gets pinged out, and he certainly isn't doing anything by himself.
Please feed the pucks. Not gonna find anything yet.
He feels more fairy than dragon right now. He really needs to tee up the ladder.
Maybe he needs to put his sight on another dragon like Jakiro. He's already 0-2, 17-3 though, so getting some last hits. Check his net worth, 1.6, so he's about 100 gold above the puck. For levels though, level 7. I mean, the 2 deaths in level 7, I feel like, you touched on it earlier. I'll completely agree now. That's got to feel a lot better to be at level 5.
He's almost doubling his experience per minute.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Blink Dagger on Dendi though, looking at mid, this should be a pretty easy jump kill on Zeus if he doesn't know about this, but he's playing very reserved to the southeast. The wards there for Zeroji. Hasn't refreshed them yet. We'll look at the Radiant Vision. Okay, there it is. A nice lane ward for the Storm. The hero is pretty survivable, but maybe pending a puck silence, they wanted to be able to zip out. They can also see TPs in if they decide to get aggressive. Unless the TPs come from behind the tower. You see the line is drawn there in the Fog of War. Someone who is nearby is actually Vincere on the Elder Titan. Doesn't look like the Ancients have been stacked anymore as they come into frame. Yeah,
the push in the bottom lane continues.
There's plenty of Ancients for Dusa for now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still going to have a hard time burning
More
all those.
Bottom tower is under attack.
But it's actually going to be interesting. The Snow Spirit not going for the Bloodstone here. Does go for the Soul Ring build to kind of keep that spam going, but he's actually going to be going for the Orchid first and foremost. So it's going to have a lot of potential with the Silence Initiation to maybe even bring down the Brew without him getting the final sword.
Alright, there's, well, still just the Elder Titan. The rotation is here, though. It's the smoke. Go Black brings it to the middle lane. Smokes up Dendi. The rune disappears, but there isn't a ward there yet, so it's going to be just fine. It's an illusion. It's not that important. The tower will fall, and with that, the rest of the team starts backing off. Not going to reveal those smoked heroes, but the map sort of shows up. The icons don't. It's pretty obvious where they are still. And with that, everyone backs off. Storm Spirit up to the top lane to farm, where the big deal right now is Medusa sits. Top of the net worth, 4,600. Has some Ancients waiting for her. 3 points in mana shield now. I don't know. Things could get bad.
Yeah, and this is a more relevant Lincoln's game to go as well, because there are things that you have to worry about, like that Orchid or Electric Vortex initiation. That's going to be the most likely cause of death. So I think Vincere is actually going to be decent here, even though the Arc Lightning can take it off pretty easily.
Yeah, and that is true. Big range on that spell. Looks like they're looking for the kill on the one who possesses the Arc Lightning. It was Elder Titan rotating around, still looking for that Soul Ring. He is second to last in net worth along with Go Black. So the two Navi supports a little harder. Harder of a life for them, but not too much. Witch Doctor Tusk barely ahead of them.
Oh, going very deep here, and the TP response is immediate from the Tusk. The TP away as well from Mind Control. And that's just gonna leave him empty-handed, though it only costs him some HP. Nothing
of value was lost. Zeroji will stay in the bottom lane and farm up. They want their Witch Doctor to be level 6. They want the Death Ward on the field. He's 3 points in cask, 2 in the heal right now, as the people going for the early Maledict builds have just completely fallen off.
Oh, going in, they're going to dive onto Vincere. Doesn't have that much HP to work with here, and Sneaky's just going to get an easy solo kill. The Oblivion Staff is actually a very underrated amount of damage going his way. Not only mana regen and int, but okay, overstepping his bound significantly as he didn't TP away immediately.
Yeah, I guess, did he throw another Ball Lightning to run out of mana completely?
Yeah, balled south. That's when he saw Havos, and then the TP Blink Clap connects.
Soul Ring is below but in that situation, you lose that health, you probably go down here. The Snowball's going to chase up Phonic. Not going to be able to find him, and Puck is a pretty scary hero to Snowball, right? Like, the spell is fantastic if you hit people with it, but if those people orb and jaunt away back to a tier 2 and then you chase them because you have no choice, like, the situation can go from decent to horrendous very, very quickly. Also, I think Force Stabs kind of shut down the Snowball initiation for the same thought process. Like, you get forced or double forced away, suddenly you've brought yourself and possibly your teammates so far out of position.
Yeah. Off top, we're going to be seeing jump in onto Havos here, and as tanky as he will get, he's not that tanky now. The Stone Gaze will not keep him alive as Sneaky goes just in full force with the help of the Zeus. They commit everything, but he's got a regen rune, so only lacking cooldowns after he pops that single rune. Anyways, one thing I want to mention is that although I love the Tusk pick and I think it's very interesting and unique, I don't think he's going to be a big difference maker this game. Like, potentially he'll make 1 or 2 cool plays this game, but it's still eyes on pretty much everybody else to set the tempo of the game.
Alright, trying to bring down another tower. After all, they do have the Jakiro. They'll rotate down the Max Liquid Fire. I don't believe he had any part in pushing that bottom tier 1, but that tower not too hard to get these days. And Fortify available, of course, as it was refreshed. Elder Titan trying to stop the push. He's up to level 6, 3 points in Astral. 1 in Earth Splitter, so pretty much all Vincere needs to slow this down. But the tower, more than likely not going to be alive much longer.
Yeah, pretty easy for the Jakiro to bring that down. He's got 7 armor with the Tranquils, and he'll take a couple pot shots to keep that Liquid Fire rolling. Puts it just outside deny range, and they can force that push whenever they so choose. But Primal Split will be coming back up in just 15 seconds, and Havos has actually kind of joined the fray here just to farm with the safety of his allies. But I guess this is because the Storm is so penchant on picking people off. Speaking of, right on top, Funnick here is taking some hits, but he does get the coil and the silence, and does Sneaky going down.
What a
huge
play.
Turn of events, and Funnick jumps up to level 8 off of that. Huge.
That silence, taking the orb, perfect. Go Black just drops the Mystic Flare, and Storm is trying to nice. Oh, is it nice though? The ice goes out to stop Havos in his tracks, but it turns everyone to stone, and the Splitter coming through. It's the good old Medusa Elder Titan combo, and while it only kills a Jakiro, it's maybe just a small little taste of what's to come from the Na'Vi lineup.
That's so good. The only way you can make that line better is add in a Naga Siren support, because then you get to Song, then Stomp, then Stone Gaze, and then Earth Splitter. But in this case here, it's fine enough just to have them being so ambitious in that team fight, walk right into the petrification themselves, and then follow it through as you would. Now the Earth Splitter, I believe it's 50%, yeah, it's half damage magical, half damage physical, so although half of the damage is nullified by the Stone Gaze, the other half is amplified by 40%, so it's still about the same, and obviously you get to slow them as they're retreating because you've been dishing out all this physical damage right click. So awesome. The big difference here is the fact that Nappa Order is involved. Once that gets maxed out, this Medusa just automatically hits like a truck because nobody has any armor to stand against her. They don't have... they had a Basilius before, but it looks like the Storm Spirit sold it, or maybe disassembled and then sold the Ring of Protection, which means they have absolutely no armor buffs for their team. Just the Tranquil Boots on Jakiro to help him out.
Yeah, over time, I think Magoma can go for a Vlad's. I think that'd be a great item for the Tusk. If the game's going more your way, the Urn and Medallion and some Phase Boots are some really good item pickups, but you can never go wrong with the Vlads, honestly, on just about any hero in the game. Like, if you're in that fourth or third sort of farming role, that's definitely an affordable item. That armor will extremely help against an Elder Titan, especially if you're turned to stone. That's going to be 40% bonus physical damage for now, 50% at one more level, and you're going to have 0 base armor because of Natural Order, which means a lot of dead people. Kefka in some trouble. The Primal Split will go out. He drops the Ice Path, and he will fall. And actually, they're going to try to contest this. I don't know if that's the right call. Actually, Sneaky's here. It probably is. He's doing very well. He has the Orchid up. Won't be able to bring down Vincere. Nice controlling there. And looking for the blink here from Dendi out of the Earth. Should be able to get it. Oh, actually, he's not able to get it in time. He's going to go down here. Can he get one more stop? He will find some damage, but he falls. Elder Titan Vincere with a nice try there, sleeping everybody up. And Dendi probably saying space created as tower getting pushed in. That tier 2 fortify going to be forced out as Havos getting some nice right clicks onto that tower.
No, I think that was a pretty clear win for Team Unknown. It's just like the aspect of losing Brewmaster, not great, and the Orc comes out onto Funnick. They're going to focus him down in particular, and King's Stun is enough to finish him off before any potential Stone Gaze can take effect. So Havos is now on the run. They don't have that much mana to chase, but they do have some. With the Soul Ring coming up, it's going to be on Goblak to keep Havos safe.
Just as the auto attack slow from overcharge was on cooldown and didn't have the mana for it. Oh my gosh, and that's the increased skill cap right there. Beautiful ice shards, and now the snowball through, gonna get them out of that Mystic Flare. That's on the Go Black for the secondary kill. Make it 3 as they killed Funnick about an hour ago. He's just respawning now, and they will clean up the big kill on the Medusa. Like I said, killing her twice, killing her 3 times in the early game puts you in a good position for basically Unknown, as Dendi will crit down the Witch Doctor.
Still, I mean, the Tusk looks there and he just says, try doing that, Earthshaker. It's like, it's a super fisher. He gets it in the perfect choke point. He completely locks him out, and they even get the Skywrath after the fact. Like, so few support heroes could possibly get that kill. Like, even a Spirit Breaker would be hard-pressed to actually engage to that range and do the same thing.
Unless
like,
it was Mag.
It was a really fucking good Ice Shards, and he is already Showing what he can do with the hero. It seems small,
Dire's top
but
tower
obviously
has
that's
fallen.
a huge hero to bring down at this stage in the game.
That really isn't going to slow
He
it
goes
up.
right for the Ancients, though.
Still
2 points, and split shot means 3 auto attacks at 80% damage output.
Is under attack.
Yeah, so definitely less than 100, but it's not the longest. You got the high ground right there, and we'll be able to bring them down. Nice experience, nice
Radiant's
gold, and in a pretty
bottom
safe
tower is under
location. There's no
attack.
wards over here from the Radiant. Let's check out their vision right now. A little up there towards the middle tier 2 on the high ground, and a little south of that, just in the middle lane, watching any rotations of Na'Vi,
Dire's
trying to maybe
top
keep
tower
tabs on
is
where that
under
Medusa is farming towards the middle lane or rotating into it from. Looking at the vision here for the Dire, just the bottom rune spawn, but I think we're going to have a more effective play in the bottom lane. They want to try to go in for this. Go Black's going to focus down by the Zeus. He's slowing up, silencing here. There's the
Radiant's
ultimate.
bottom
Go Black
tower
is
bottling
under
up,
attack.
or Dendi actually bottling
Dire's
up Go
top
Black, and the
tower
Earth
is
Splitter will
under-
go out. I think
Dire's
that's
top
more to
tower has
facilitate the
fallen.
retreat right now.
Wow.
And the TPs go out. How much do they get out of this? The tower also falls. It crumbles. Jakiro, did he get a tier 2 though? He did.
Okay, so tier 1 tower and the whole stack of Ancients. Time to farm that for the tier 2 and the Thunder God's Wrath. So, yeah, I think that's okay for
Radiant's
both
middle
sides,
tower
but
is
obviously
under
Hivos
attack.
is feeling much better now that he has the Liquid Sphere. That was a pretty big item for him to survive against the Storm Spirit. Still, they could consider things like Force Staff and stuff like that, the Yule Scepter coming out in Jakiro soon. But as it stands right now, at least the Storm can't be the initiator easily against Medusa. He has to waste the Orchid and use the pull.
Yep, big, and already another 1,000 gold, so we'll probably see in another 10 to 15.
Oh, no Orchid!
Oh, he doesn't have it!
I guess
Maybe
he
the
forced
tree
the split
line
to
or
come off
something?
away.
The split goes out. Can they disengage? They'll still find a Jakiro. Split for Jakiro isn't the best, and actually, as Medusa is going to go chase on the other side of this.
Just got the Yules.
Look at that Yules, so they're trying to keep himself up. And now, because of that Yules, though, the team thinks they can maybe re-engage. Shavos has thrown out the stone, hasn't locked anyone in place. It is pretty hard to do without some other crowd control. And while the Jakiro is going to be the first to die here, will anyone else? Zeroji, nice death ward going out. Shavos now officially out of mana. Puck throwing the orb, the coil, and he takes the orb back. Beautifully done. Coil on 2. Zeus able to TP out, has no other stuff to follow it up, but now both of this, well, support and offlane are dead. They're some more. It's going to be negotiating the snowball. Somehow it's on to Puck. I don't even know. Now that Thunder God's
Radiant's
Wrath,
middle tower
Funnick is going to be the
under
first one to go
attack.
down. But also, the other support and the offlane are dropping for the price of just one offlaner. Looking pretty good for Na'Vi. Even a little bit of damage to the tier 1. They might be able to get it here. But I think
Radiant's
they'll err
middle
on the side of
tower is
caution
under
and
attack.
back off.
Mind control, maybe by happenstance, but does the Thunder God's Wrath right when the puck gets stunned, so there's no chance of phase shift. Maybe coordinated that a little bit, and that is a very nice little turn. But nevertheless, we saw how much damage Havos could tank in that team fight. He has so much durability when his mana pool is full. He could just eat the Death Ward all day long. It is a level 1 Death Ward, so we're seeing 60 damage per hit instead of like 90 or 120, but it's still a lot of damage that could have been dealt to other heroes, but instead goes straight into Medusa. She survived, and then Puck silences. Overall, a great fight for Na'Vi. What looked to be like a great initiation from Storm. He doesn't use the Orchid. They do force the split, but they can't disengage fast enough.
Alright, 1 tier 1 standing here at the side of Unknown. They'll smoke up under it, realizing no wards are really going to be present in that area. And actually, looking at Na'Vi, they have no wards on the map right now. So checking out stashes, item inventories. Go Black does have a few wards on him, so he'll be looking to refresh those up relatively soon. Decent vision out across the map, and I think Go Black just puts 1 ward down there for Na'Vi at the south rune spawn near the Roshan pit.
He's got 1 now and a pair in 30 seconds, but I think Zeus has been able to de-ward a couple.
They're going to find Go Black. They're going to initiate out of the smoke with the snowball, and goodbye Skywrath. Maybe goodbye Elder Titan as well. The Ice Path and the Shards and the Macro Pyre all going to be a little off the mark. Unfortunate, but really nothing of cooldown value was lost, so it's okay for Unknown. Nice pick off. Wanted some more, but they'll take it.
Yeah. So 1 ward that was placed here will cover up the Ancients a little
Dire's
bit, but
bottom tower is under
I think they know it
attack.
by now, but this ward has been here for 3 minutes, Sentry, blocking off the camp, and Medusa hasn't been able to farm there. Still has the ultimate orb towards the Scotty, presumably. I mean, Manta's still really good, but we'll have to see how rapidly he's able to farm towards his next item. And that's pretty much the game right there, is get Medusa farmed.
Yeah,
It's
Medusa's
a
farm
4
is like all that
practice,
matters. It'll be the ultimate orb for now. Going for the Manta first, it would appear. Potentially, what do you think, Manta or Scotty? What do you prefer?
I like the move tree from Manta. I think it's
And
too important
there's
to
an
have.
Orchid on Storm, so it seems like it's most definitely going to be that. just in case the Lincolns isn't quite enough to block it. But in the middle lane, they'll go in for the pickoff on Dendy. That's going to be his second death. He's 5-2-3. He's fourth in the pack in net worth at 7.7k. But the story, it's 11.1 net worth there for Havost on the Dusa. 9.8 for the Storm. He was number 1 for a while. Sneaky having a really good game previously on Sven, and here now on the Storm Spirit. And 8.8k for the Zeus. It's been a good day for Zeus overall.
Yeah, not too bad. Pretty strong hero in the right hands at the right time, but in this game, his damage is going to start tapering. Like, he doesn't have a progression towards Veil or towards Aghanims, so once he hits 16, that's pretty much all the damage he can do, and Navi is going to get bigger. Like, right now, they don't have anything in terms of, like, Mac or Pipe, but they do have at least some Vlads for some physical mitigation, and obviously Medusa is really all the tank you'll need, unless she's kind of singled out 3 or 4 versus 1. On the other hand, we're going to see basically Unknown picking up a mechanism on the Jakiri here, and I think that's a really smart pickup against Medusa. The split shot is something that you have to deal with, similar to Gyrocopter's Black Cannon, and the heal plus armor is going to be huge to mitigate some of those losses. So we're going to see the smoke into the jungle, but I don't think they're gonna find anybody. Sneaky's a little bit too far out of bounds. Oh, wait, Rick does connect.
Not living up to his name right there. The quick pickoff.
I really thought that Funnick wouldn't be able to get range in range in time, but he did get the blink in the cusp of the Waning Rift, and they bring down the Storm very nicely.
Bloodstone is completely, this is going to be redundant, but completely completed for Mind Control. They're leaving it on the courier over at the secret shop. I'm guessing this is planned, but I don't see any benefit in not bringing that. Like, these items were actually on the courier. Oh, he hadn't quite finished the Soul Booster. Right, I take it back, guys. I didn't look at this.
He not finished it now.
It wasn't quite done. Nah, he bought it. It's being delivered. Everything's on the courier, but they will kill him and delay it another 50 seconds.
I guess it's okay because it doesn't lose charges.
So
right?
good that was not delivered. If he had just got it delivered and lost the charges, he would have been probably hurt himself in the head.
Bottom tower.
Meanwhile, middle lane Dendy looking to get more aggressive will be greeted with an ice path. And the tier 1 is now going to fall. So Navi taking all the other tier 1s, and they will actually trail by 1 tower. Unknown have got all the tier 1s and that top tier 2. Thanks a lot in part to Jakiro's Liquid Fire.
Alright, so it is going to be the Eye of Scotty from the Medusa. It doesn't really increase her damage rate that much, just the 25 agility, but it does make her the tankiest thing you've ever seen. The bonus health and mana, along with the bonus stats, makes it almost impossible to bring her down with the Lincoln Sphere, with the Scotty. It's a very defensive build, but I guess they are up against a lot of damage. At this point, she could tank through the entire team for a good 8 seconds, but she finishes that item.
Yeah, the Scotty's pretty nice. It'll apply the slow to the one person you attack, and maybe, well, of course you get more attacks out, and just maybe you'll get a proc on your Stone Gaze, the Stone Form, just because of that extra slow. You can maneuver in front of them while you're sort of orb walking. Who knows what may happen here as Havost is playing this. Medusa buys up a TP, and I think Zeus bought a smoke, so they're looking for another smoke play. Dendy went for... I'm glad every Brewmaster now going for the blink. Vladimir's offering. When the hero was getting very popular, we saw a wide variety of item builds, but for the most part, it's the blink into the Vlads or the blink BKB Vlads on about every Brewmaster. Although I will say the boots are still always varying for Brewmaster players, depending on the game, depending on the player.
Smoke top, Vanscore has 3 TPs, so we'll see if he uses one of them before they break through. I think he has vision. Yeah, they're all scouting the wrong areas. They find him now, but Yules gets him! With Thunder God's Wrath vision, and Vanscore will not be getting out of this one. But more time for the to keep farming. His next item is actually going to be a Maelstrom and a Mjolnir, I believe. The only alternative is really Midas or Armlet. Both seem inapplicable in this situation, but yeah, if he gets the Mjolnir up, I've seen it do wonders. Getting the crazy attack speed out, getting the static charge buff on yourself, it actually can do a lot of work. So we'll see that pretty soon, I believe. But first and foremost, it's the Roche. Do they give the Aegis to the tankiest guy you'll ever see, or do they just give it to somebody who's going to be more active in the fight?
Dendy or Phonic, for sure.
I don't know, I've seen so many times they can give, I mean, not Wraith King level of double stacking the Aegis, but I've seen some pretty redundant Aegis.
I think you just, whoa. Oh, too much casting, man. The voice. I think you just give it to Dendi, let him jump in, let him die, whatever. Medusa then stands there, Dendi respawns, drops the pump, split, and they kill everybody. That's obviously.
But Avos is the one with the other slot, and he is picking it up.
I mean, it's not the first time we saw, again, the Medusa yesterday. They were doing the same exact thing, right? Like, oh, here, taking ages, don't die. Your deaths really matter when, I don't know, you get back up, you can farm so fast. Sure, death is a setback, but I don't think it's the biggest deal. Yeah. Might still not matter in the end.
This is the ignore Medusa strat now. They essentially cannot bother with this Medusa whatsoever until she's all by herself.
And the Astral Spirit gathering that intel up and bringing it back to the red team here. I guess the yellow team, whatever. The TF2 references break down after a point. But Vincere, they're nice defensive Yules. Probably just going to delay the a little bit longer. They're going to drop the ultimate, and he'll fall. Sneaky going to be forced to BKB. That Earth Splitter will slow him down for a while. Are they going to go for this? Is the right click strong enough? It is! Dendi jumps in with a crit. 243 red. Havos hit it pretty hard as well, pulling back that bowstring.
Yeah, just pulling out the nice little quick strike of the Drunken Brawler, and yeah, there's pretty much nothing the Storm could do in those kinds of situations. If he goes in, he can get a kill, but disengaging is another story entirely. It's going to be like on his team to bail him out. Lagoma does now have the Blink Dagger, so there is some potential for some instantaneous disengage, counter initiation, whatever you want to call it, but yeah, we'll have to see really how good he is with the Snowball. We've seen him do some work with the Ice Shards, but the Snowball, it's still a pretty tricky thing, especially to use it defensively.
Yeah, he does have a pretty cool combo right now that will also disrupt through BKB, which is the Blink Walrus Punch. So that's nice. You can Blink Walrus Punch, put yourself in the Snowball, chill in it for 4 seconds. If any of your allies are nearby or getting low, you can bring them in during that 4 seconds and, you know, create quite a ruckus. You can also put the Sigil down, and you can even put the Sigil inside of the Snowball, because it doesn't move very fast, and if you want to bring it into the fight, you got to put it in the Snowball. It's really, really cool stuff. Unfortunately, we haven't seen much of the playmaking potential besides the one beautiful Ice Shards. It's been fairly silent.
Most definitely, but now we see the Orca come out on the Illusion, and they even go for the Walrus Punch and Electric Vortex. Those tanky Illusions getting the early evade makes it seem like they have more to offer than UCIs, but Dendi just baits out a few spells, and the tower is falling quickly.
And here's the fast right-click item coming out for Medusa. Is going to go for the Maelstrom with the Lightning Procs going out as well, along with the Split Shot. So tons of AoE damage coming out from the Medusa, now some of it magical. Well, obviously the Mystic Snake actually hits pretty hard as well. Lincoln's going to be broken up. I guess, okay, this is definitely a benefit of putting the Aegis on Medusa. Just frontliner and hit the buildings. And then have her die first and then follow up with the Puck and Brewmaster initiation. So it looks like that's what they're going to run for.
Definitely can work. 2 minutes left on the Aegis here. And yeah, Dendi has to play a little more passively, but he's got his Vlads, his 10-second BKB, and his split up. There's not much chance of him just being completely insta-gib. Still, in this position, they're fishing for the stomps. That's the big thing here. Vincere really wants to get a good Echo Stomp off so they can go right up the high ground. It's not like Nightmare. If they're caught, they're caught. But yeah, he's just spamming it once every 15 seconds, and it looks like they're not going to find what they're looking for. Tier 3 didn't even take any damage, really.
No, not just a couple attacks. Maybe
it's essentially just the entire team standing right behind Medusa while she's farming. It just happens to be in an offensive zone.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much the strat when you pick Medusa at a certain point in just about every game.
Yeah, I guess it prevents the enemy team from farming because they're focused on defending. Yeah. So it's farm that he's getting that they are not. So that's important.
One person on Unknown gets farm, and then Medusa gets farm, and Medusa's just more important to get farm on than whoever that one person was. I'd assume it was maybe Sneaky, but with Jakiro spamming macro pyres to stop the push, you know, probably a lot of that farm goes to just the entire team, which even better, I feel like, for that Medusa player.
Yep. And if she has more ancients to work with, she's closing in on level 25. Her stats are absolutely insane for her survivability, and when she finishes the Mjolnir, she's gonna just be able to tear through people. I really don't know if there's a point of safe return after that Mjolnir is complete.
Yeah, the Lightning Shield's gonna go pretty nice in tandem with the Mana Shield. Maybe get a Poor Man Shield and a Photic Shield. Are there any more shield abilities?
Shield,
which one?
Spell Shield doesn't really help.
Oh, stealth shield, yeah. I guess you could just stout shield as well. Anyways, fun games, figuring out all the shields. That's what we do around here.
So, how do they crack this one? I mean, obviously the Aegis is about to go away, so that's something, but... Oh,
man, Funnick. Look at this coil though, on for 3. It's pretty stuff down there. The self-fuel's up, and Funnick get out of that great initiation. Look at that Earth Splitter. Gonna land on 3 as they go up into the high ground. This is the breach they're gonna be looking for. Actually, they're in the valley right now. After this team fight, they can maybe get up there. Mind Control trying to retreat back to safety of his own base. He will be brought down with a big right click. There's a buyback on Jakiro here, so that's Kepler trying to do what he can. Has the Yules, has the mech, and now the sleep will go out. So Roji wants to chase. Sneaky, meanwhile, also going to fall. Vanscore going to go down, and then he's just going to crit up that Witch Doctor. Another buyback. There's a buyback that offlaner and the support here. 19 to 14. Havost. Full health. Full man. It looks like they're doing that Aegis.
No, it just popped by itself.
Just kidding. He is legitimately unkillable.
We'll see. They're going to toast after. They have 4 people going on 1. Funnick only has like 1 spell to help him out. So it looks like he is going to go down here, but Funnick trying to make it happen.
Oh my
Quick
gosh.
shot. Envy coming in. Are you serious? Come on to the double kill. Going for a triple. He does fall, but the cleanup is here. The Ice Charge pushes Denji to the other side. Mind Control's Force Staff fails him in the end, and they all fall. They're all dead. Only Magoma will live, and he is not going to be able to do anything here. This was Havost. Even though he does die, he lives on in the reality of how epic that moment was. He was able to do so much damage, and yeah, he just keeps racking up the net worth. He is about to be completely out of control as he buys up a Daedalus on the Courier. He only needs the Demon Edge in 500 gold, and if he has that, like, what is there to stop him?
Like, look how long Havost lives. Like, Dendi and Funnick could literally have a discussion about what to do with the situation before they decide to go in, and they will jump in a quick Silence, Waiting Rift, Orb, the big stomp, the extra slow, the slow from the Scotty, and so much right click. 2 of them go down before even the Medusa does, and Dendi with the BKB, they clean up the rest. 15 to 23.
Yeah, if only he had some lifesteal or something. I bet he could have actually lived through that anyways, but...
Yeah.
No Wisp to keep him alive.
Still no lifesteal. He's going to go for the crit.
Oh yeah, no, he just needs damage. I mean, the lifesteal was just like a... If in that situation, because they'd already exhausted all their spells, it would have been cool, but that's still not the better item choice overall until 6th slot.
Yeah, Na'Vi getting a lot of material for their YouTube videos out of the Starladder games of late. I saw the RP on Na'Vi video from yesterday's games, which was pretty nice. Dendi was on point. No pun intended with that Magnus. The pun was intended, actually.
I don't know if there's even a pun there.
The point? The horn? Come on.
I understand horns are pointy, but it
How
just
is that
seems
not a
like
pun?
there are so many things that are pointy. You can't just...
Yeah.
You shoot an arrow at somebody and you say, I think he got the point. That's a pun.
That's a good pun. That's a more direct pun.
Yeah.
I like people to think about mine.
Think if it's even a pun or not. The intimate discussions.
Chat, back me up.
Alright, so we got the front liners here down the middle lane. Even without Aegis, they're feeling pretty good. They got the Daedalus complete, and you look at what is in his inventory. A bottled double damage rune, courtesy of Funnick. Thank you so much, friend. Have insane amount of damage output. When he pops that thing, it's just going to be absolutely glorious. I mean, essentially, just can tear through anybody. He's going to be able to 3-shot supports, even with split shot, I believe. That rune is so damn good, and now that he's essentially immortal, all he needs is damage, and here it is, and a convenient little rune. They can use it off, so maybe I'm overhyping it, but DD rune, so good.
There's never enough hype. Could never overhype. As, well, still trying to move into the base. Can you... I put it in the other room. So, yeah, alright. I don't know. Sorry. Real life obligations approach. Casting, if you could leave me in peace. Here's the final fight, potentially, of the game. The Ice Path is going out. The Shards is there. They're going to grab the Host. The Earth Splitter isn't going to do much for him, but the Host still alive. He runs out of mana. And Sneaky going to try to jump in. There is a bit of damage going to Havost. It looks like he will fall. He finally goes down dead for 90. There's no buyback as they try to break the high ground. Na'Vi not going to be getting as much as they wanted out of this. The coil from Funnick on the background. trying to fight up against mind control. And let's see, Van's score will also drop. It's a 3-for-2 right now, but with the Medusa going down, Na'Vi were really looking to break the high ground right there, and they're not going to be able to.
He hit heroes for 823 after the ultimate came through. That was just insane. Like, he 800 HP off of a witch dog, off of the storm spirit. Like, although he didn't actually get most of those kills, or maybe any of those kills, he was able to do so much damage to set it up. One kills the witch dog in the end, but and Dendy it's such an easy cleanup, and they don't even have like the buybacks to reinforce at this point. Dendy and Funny can just run around. It was like 3 or 4 auto attacks from Havos, and suddenly he takes out half the team's HP. That's just insane. I mean, yes, they do bring him down, but they have to commit so many resources into doing so that they just can't win a fight. Mind Control getting the nice lightning bolt onto Funix, but he doesn't have any control, just a haste rune, and he doesn't force staff. Could maybe go for a play here, but using away, I think he's going to be able to face dodge.
Stay in the trees, Funnick. He
He
watched free to play. He knows what's good.
It's true. Learning from Master HYHY.
He even starred in that. Well, not really, but he was in it. Whatever. No, actually, he's just kidding.
No,
Way before Funnick's time. Oh. The fail fish.
Good job, man.
Sometimes I forget, man. Fine, go black. There, he was in that. Just to refresh, we'll go to the Aegis. Oh, it doesn't have their... Oh, no, you can still bring it up. Oh, he wasn't on the team.
Yeah, I didn't know that you got the old ones, too.
Yeah, you get them.
I thought I only did the newest one. Okay, that's neat. I wonder how long before they run out of space. I have to go like a square around the whole thing.
Yeah, I can always just drop down menu or something.
That's not dotty. So we got a Pipe of Insight on Puck. Obviously very good against the Zeus, but I don't think I've ever seen that before. I'd love to see a stats man pulling up the Pipe of Insight statistics on the Fairy Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, when you need the item, you need the item. The offlane utility, it's kind of just fills that role. They're tired of dealing with the underdog round. They feel like they needed to breach the high ground, and yeah, I think I can agree with them.
No, it's not bad at all. I find it interesting that he's the one to pick it up in particular. Often you see the ET pick it up, the Brewmaster, but Funnick's like, I can get it pretty quick. And there you go. He's really got everything he needs with the Blink the Yules. The Axe is just kind of icing on the cake if he does acquire it before this game is done. But another Aegis on Medusa, all this potential damage, even without a DD rune, I don't see basically Unknown holding for another 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I mean, they're doing the best they can, I guess. They haven't lost Arax yet.
It's the midnight hour, though. They really have to make their stand. But Kefka getting picked off without buyback is not the way to start that off.
Nope, he was a big part in trying to slow down the push with the ice paths, with the macro behind. He can slow down the attack speed to manage the liquid fire, but here is Havos moving up to the high ground. He's got the Aegis of the Immortal on him right now. Split Earth going to go out. Earth Splitter, rather, not going to really land on anybody. The tower is finally going to fall. So now officially they broke the high ground here at 41 minutes at 28-17. Pretty dominant performance from them. Both way out front with about 24,000 net worth. And there we go, the zip in. Dendy blinks. BKB's up, and which actually Jakiro nowhere to be found right now. Jakiro the only one to die during this engagement there.
Yep, so trying to do what they can. Chico will just jump right out as soon as he can, but he gets silenced. He tries to BKB out of it, and it's too late. He just takes too much damage. All he was planning to do was ball in and ball out, but he waited too long into a secondary ball. Funnick with the quick silence, and him with the slow BKB. They get absolutely destroyed, and they still have the Aegis to go through on Medusa. She can kill off literally anybody that respawns at this point, as long as it's not all 5. And she probably will do so, but Funnick jumps in first.
2-4 is going down. Ice Path Macro Fire. Look at Medusa taking no damage, just standing there and delivering onto the tier 4 towers. Meanwhile, Dendy is still split up down there, taking some people out in the fountain. You know, as you do. Funnick doesn't like spiders. He's going to focus the effigy. That's what really matters right now from Funnick's mind. And there's the GG calls here from Unknown. And wow, they go 0-3 on the day. I got to say, they put up a pretty good fight against all these teams. Like, none of them were just like pure domination. All of them moving until like, let's say, a 20-minute mark until the other team. And actually, they were utterly destroying in their previous game before 4 anchors turned it around. But either way, I think a pretty impressive performance for them today, despite not getting a win as they replay all of the games that Cloud9 had either played or forfeited.